Hi there, Rashmi. So you sent your first set of essays to us for correction. Wonderful. Great job. Let's take a look at what you've said here. Okay, the first one is about schools and whether they should be more entertaining. Here's what you said. Experts throughout the world have debated on whether to incorporate sports in the school curriculum or not. I personally support the idea of having sports classes in the school. This essay will discuss the benefits of including enjoyable activities in the school curriculum using relevant examples to support arguments. Okay, so you've certainly used the template correctly, accurately. You've given your position, which is very important in this kind of an essay. And the grammar and the vocabulary are also correct. My concern is with this, sports in the school curriculum. Obviously, you have to rephrase the task. You have to rephrase the prompt. But in talking exclusively about sports, you haven't really done that because it talks about schools having to be more entertaining. Let's think about what entertaining means, okay? So as you begin your IELTS preparation with us, I want you to really focus on some of the key words of the tasks that you get. Here the key word is entertaining. Think about what entertaining means. It means enjoyable, it means fun, it means lighthearted, it means things that make us laugh, things that fill us with joy. All right, these are entertaining things. And rather than using any of those words or any of those ideas, you've talked just about sports here and sports classes. There's nothing about entertainment, enjoyment, fun, lighthearted, games, anything like that. Okay, and the reason why I mention that is that being involved in sports can be all these things, but it's not always, ha 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 funny and so forth. So I want you to think about that a little bit. And let's now move on to your body paragraphs and see what you did there. On the one hand, participation in sports possibly results in better health, which could be difficult to achieve by merely reading books. Okay. The central reason behind this is twofold. Firstly, sports stimulate young players. No, you need an S apostrophe here. Minds, giving them the opportunity to cultivate their creativity. All right, explain that to me. What do you mean? How? Give me an example of how sports cultivate creativity. Secondly, outdoor games support them to remain physically fit and strong. For instance, recent empirical research by the British Institute of Learning demonstrated that children's involvement in sports allows, you need an S here, because it's one thing, to outperform, get rid of that S, better than their counterparts. Therefore, it is conclusively clear that sports not only have a positive impact on the mental health, but also on the physical health of children. All right? Again, it's almost as if you're talking about a completely different essay. It's like you're talking about, what are the benefits of sports? That is not what the essay has asked you to talk about. All right? Remember, entertaining. All right? Entertaining schools versus solely educational schools. So while you've used the template nicely, you've supported, you've done a lot of lovely things, it's not an on-topic response. All right, so let's take a look at the second body paragraph. Additionally, although academic education is essential for brain development, advantages of sports cannot be overlooked. This is largely because of the interpersonal skills, no comma here, children learn through sports. For instance, an extensive study by Oxford University without the clearly indicated that children absorb useful skills such as coordination, team building, and leadership skills while playing team sports. Thus, it's possible to state beyond doubt that sports often result in grasping swaths of skills required for well-being. All right, get rid of the, get rid of comma, and get rid of this word, replace it with something more appropriate. To conclude, I firmly believe that integrating education with sports unarguably leads with an S to the better development of the student. It is predicted that if schools incorporate compulsory sports classes in the curriculum, students would definitely be benefited in many ways. All right, so I wanted to finish the whole essay before I essentially reiterate what I told you after your first body paragraph, which is that this is not an on-topic response. You talked solely about sports. You didn't mention anything about entertainment, all right, or any of its synonyms. So it's as if you were answering a completely different essay here, okay? It's as if you're, it's as if the task, if I had to guess what the task was according to what you wrote, I would think that it's, some people think that schools should encourage sports, while others think that sports are not necessary. Which do you agree with? Okay, so it's an entirely different essay. And I really, now that you're at the beginning of your preparation with us, I want you to be careful about this. I want you to make sure you spend time looking at the task, making sure that you underline and really focus on what the keywords of the task are so that you are answering appropriately. Okay, now you could have talked about sports in your essay. There were ways to do this appropriately. But as I said, the way you did it here, it's as if it was an entirely different question. Now, that said, you did a lot of things very well. So your grammar was great. Your vocabulary, for the most part, was very good. Your use of the template was excellent. Okay, so that was great. So this is a wonderful place to be starting, actually, because you're doing a lot of things right. And quite honestly, I have found in my years of experience that task achievement is the area where people typically struggle the most. So your situation is not uncommon, far from it. So, but like I said, you're in a great situation because all the other elements of your writing are there. So we just have to work on making sure that you are answering the question appropriately. All right, let's see what you did in this second essay here about an enjoyable activity. Experts throughout the world have debated on what is more beneficial, performing entertaining activities, that should have been an IES, or reading. It seems to me that going for, this is the wrong word here, you could have said fun. That would have been appropriate. Or even enjoyable. I mean, it's okay if you use it once, but adorable is definitely wrong. So why don't we try it? It seems to me that going for fun activities is more effective than reading. Going for activities is one thing, so it requires a singular verb. In this essay, the benefits of doing interesting activities will be discussed using relevant examples. Fine. On the one hand, there is ample evidence that playing on PlayStations often helps, again, S, because playing on PlayStations is one thing, in developing cognitive skills. This is due to the fact that shooting and puzzle games, what do you mean shooting? I don't understand that. And puzzle games require tremendous attention and extremely high focus, which in particular help in increasing concentration ability and problem-solving skills. For example, recent empirical research by the British Institute of Learning demonstrated that children involved in playing video games outperform. Now here you don't want an S because it's children. Children outperform 20% better than their counterparts. Hold on a second. No. Children involved in playing video games outperform their counterparts in what? In what do they outperform them? So this is awkward here. Let me see. Children involved in playing video games, how about this? Perform 20% better than their counterpart in I don't know, psychometric tests involving problems or something like that, okay? But you needed to change the sentence around. Therefore, it is conclusively clear that playing games helps, S, again, because playing is your lead word here. It's one thing, playing games. Helps in learning additional skills compared to reading. Fine. Additionally, although reading helps in building an academic base for children, the positive impact of participating in outdoor sports cannot be overlooked. This is largely because of their numerous benefits on both physical and mental health. For instance, an extensive study by Oxford University, without the, showed that sports often help in learning a variety of skills, such as, without the comma, coordination, team building, and leadership skills. Thus, it is possible to state beyond doubt that sports, foster interpersonal skills in children, which reading cannot. Fine. I'm glad you mentioned reading here. From the arguments and examples given, I firmly believe that engaging in leisure-based, you put a dash here, exercises undoubtedly develops S. All right, again, engaging, because look, you have an ing here. That's your lead noun, and it's singular. So this needs an S. Which are impossible to learn solely by reading. It is predicted that if schools focus more on gaming activities, it would surely result in, not passive voice, better achievements in studies as well as sports. Okay, so this was an on-topic response. You answered the question. I'm glad that you incorporated, at least to some extent, reading in your answer. A lot of the grammar was fine. I mean, there were some mistakes that I had to correct, obviously. I want you to watch out for this thing that you keep doing with when you use a gerund, when you use an ing as your noun, make sure that you're using the correct verb, okay? So playing video games, results. It needs an S, okay? What else do I want to tell you? I thought it was fine on the whole. Again, you used the template correctly, you analyzed, you supported. It was a good essay, okay? And it's certainly on topic, so that was good. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to correct these essays based on my suggestions, return those to us, also include your error correction list where you write down the mistakes, and then next to each mistake what the correct version is. And of course, the third thing you need to send us along with those other two things is your new set of essays. Okay, so get that started. Let's see those in the next day or so. And, I'll be waiting for your set of essays. Okay, good luck.